Hello, hello, hello. What is up? How is it going? We are back, baby. Let's see. Oh, that is not what we wanted. That's a little better. All right. So, I wanted to make sure everything's sounding good, everything's working good, everything's looking good, and going to test out a couple things. And then I'm going to boot up World of Warcraft. This is a brand new computer. Yesterday and today I've been downloading everything I need. I've downloaded the add-ons. I have not actually set anything up. So today I'm going to set everything up. And this matters to you because I was one of the best resto druids in the world. So I do know how to set up a WoW interface, and I'm going to walk you through it so you can be a top performing player. All right. So let me just check how all my settings are doing real quick. Just a second. And going to test out a couple things. And then I'm going to boot up World of Warcraft up. So today I'm going to set everything up. And this matters to you because I was one of the best resto druids in the world. So I do know how to set up a WoW interface, and I'm going to walk you through it. Cool. I think that's going to work. All right. I am so excited about this. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, step one, I haven't even set up my mouse yet, so let's just do that real quick. So, mouse is very important, especially for games like WoW that have a lot of stuff you need to do. They're kind of mechanically complex. You know, you can't just use a gaming controller. You have, depending on the class, like 20, 30, even more different skills that you need to be able to use quickly. So there's a lot of different stuff you need. Back when I was a world-class player, I had a mouse that eventually wore out, and it's no longer in production. So recently, when I got back into it about a month ago, I looked around. I ordered like 3 different mice on Amazon and didn't like any of them. Returned them all. Then I looked into the top players in the top guild in the world and what mouse they used, and this is what I got. So, success leaves clues. I'm not a believer in sponsors for most things, obviously. But if you're a world-class gamer, especially playing the same game, and it's the mouse you're actually using, they ain't promoting that shit if they don't like it. Because that's important, right? So, anyway, this is really good for World of Warcraft. A lot of the mice that are advertised as mice for that kind of game, they have like 15 different buttons that you all use with your thumb. And the problem with that is if you misclick it, which is easy because they're all so close together, you can accidentally fire off a cooldown when you don't need it, and then you don't have it when you do need it. Like, hitting the wrong button actually costs you. The nice thing about this mouse is, I guess you can see it on the screen. I was going to pull it up, but there's a lot of different buttons on there, but you're not going to hit the wrong one by accident. And it actually has a lot of other cool things, like you can actually tilt it and do other things, like for flying games, and it has multiple axes of control, and it's pretty cool. But you don't need any of that for World of Warcraft necessarily. It's really just about the placement of the buttons and how crisp everything is that I really like. So obviously these are the 2 regular mouse buttons. Now, before I get into that, any mouse works for World of Warcraft. Before this, I did use a mouse that has just the standard mouse wheel, 2 buttons obviously, and then the 2 buttons here. Pretty much every mouse nowadays has those 2 buttons and the mouse wheel. So with those, you have, not counting the main 2 buttons, which you usually use for your camera and movement and stuff like that, you have your mouse wheel up, mouse wheel down, mouse wheel click, and those 2 buttons, that's 5 inputs. And those 5 inputs times your 2 modifiers and no modifiers equals 15 inputs. So that's a significant amount just from a regular mouse. But now, if you get something like this, I have these two buttons in addition that's right there at my fingertips. It's really good for fast response kind of abilities. And then I have these two, which I just hit it by accident. You kind of, when your finger's just resting there naturally, the knuckle here is resting on that button. So it's just a little flex, bam, you hit it. Also very fast reaction. You can actually put your finger underneath and pull it up, and that's another. That's why it's showing two different buttons here. That's not as fast because you got to like curl your finger all the way up and lift it up. So that's a keybind that I would use for things that don't need to be twitch reactions, like drinking and eating food. You're probably not in a rush when you're doing that. Not like a interrupt or a stun or something. And then, of course, the two side buttons here for your thumb, and then these two buttons for your index finger as well. So it's really nice layout. Love this mouse. I'm going to set it up real quick for World of Warcraft. So we are on the right thing. So see, the way it defaults is instead of being bound to a button, it's bound to a function, and that is not what I want because I want to be able to set this up. So let's start. Which way will I go? Yeah, let's call this button 1. And we're going to just use the F1 keys because I'm never going to bind them to anything else for World of Warcraft. Okay. And we'll call that 2. Just like that. And back. And we'll keep working our way across similar way. So left trigger pull, left trigger push. So the push is what I'm looking for the fast action. So that'll be 3. Yeah, I can just call that 5. That's fine. Or F4, I guess I'm on. I'll just make sure it's bound appropriately when I get to that button. So that's that. So F3, F4. So this is going to be F5 on the push. And that's going to be F6 on the pull. Cool, cool. And just logo. I already was running the same mouse on my other computer. I'm just resetting it up because it's a new computer. I'm trying to remember how I had it. Okay, so I had that as that. Okay. So my thumb kind of naturally rides a little lower, so the next one in a row would be this one. F6. Okay, so F7. Back, and F8. And F9. And F10. Cool. Okay, so that's all I need to do for the mouse. And again, if you this is an expensive mouse. It's over $100. You don't need this unless you're planning, unless you have the money and you really want to get serious with games like World of Warcraft. But that you can do this with a much cheaper mouse for sure. You're just going to use when you get it. Let's get into the game. Let's do it. Let me just probably not dox myself. I did get in the habit of being careful what I show on screen. Oh, hey. Somebody jumped in. You want to say hi in chat? Would be cool. Speaking of which, now that we're rolling, I want to take a quick second and let some people know that I'm streaming. I just wanted to make sure all my settings was set up and whatnot. Let me jump over and get a... get a link to the stream so I can tweet it and send it out in Discord. Here we go. Bam. And everyone. Gonna set up my entire World of Warcraft interface on the new PC on stream. How you do it different. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to send that, and then I'm going to also tweet it. So just a sec. Bam, bam. Just like that. And to the Twitter, which is at Re-Vera Life. Oh, by the way, my Twitter's fun. I think I'm a good Twitterer. Got some fire takes. I'm always stirring up some drama. So on this channel, my goal is to be friendly and entertaining, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun. I want to be talking to people as often as possible. We're going to be having guests on. We're going to be having conversations, debates, telling stories, hanging out, chilling. I love personally talking about philosophy, religion, politics, deeper type of shit, but not all the time. Like, we're going to play games. We're going to shoot shit. I have tons of stories to tell. I've been 80 feet deep in the ocean and snapped at by a moray eel. Real thing happened. Been charged by a wild moose. That happened. Been lost in the wilderness, hours drives away from anywhere, in a snowstorm, and found my way back and survived it. Fell out of a tree 30 feet while hunting and broke ribs out in the middle of the nowhere again, and managed to get back and survive. Grew up evangelical, Tea Party, homeschooled, fundamentalist, kind of like the Duggars, if you ever saw that show, 19 and Counting. Pretty extreme. So I felt like what is that show? Those with the mole girls. My wife watched it. Anyway, I forget the name of the show, but she grew up in like a basement in a cult, and then got rescued and trying to adapt to reality outside of that, and that's kind of what I felt like growing up. But now I'm 38. I've been out a long time. I'm actually moved substantially far to the left. No longer religious. So I've thought about these things a lot, because when you come to the understanding your entire worldview is wrong, it makes you rethink everything. So I love talking about that stuff. The ultimate goal of the channel is to help people make their lives better and help make the world a better place. So I'm not attached to anything ideologically. I've already changed my entire worldview. I just care about what's true and what makes life better. That's it. So I'm not particularly attached to labels. I don't know if you saw my desktop. Let me go back to that. You know what? I don't have a screen without the camera. I need one without the camera just so I can show that. But anyway, it says super capitalism. So this is kind of my label. If you're going to make a label, it's a bit of a meme, but I think of the people, by the people, for the people should be both government and business. Big fan of democracy, and that includes in the business place. I'm a patriotic American. Even though I was born in Canada, I'm an American citizen, and proud to be. And I'm not proud of the state of the United States. I'm not proud of the government. I'm not proud of its actions. I am patriotic to the people because I value people. And I'm patriotic to the ideals it alleges to stand for, even though it often does so badly. Just to be clear on that. When I say libertarian, I mean an actual libertarian, because I care about liberty. So I want to maximize liberty in society. And you do that, you really need a government of, by, and for the people to maximize liberty, in my opinion. So I talk about that more at other times. But it is a leftist position. It is not the traditional American libertarian ANCAP type of situation. And super capitalism is basically business of by and for the people. It's supporting worker co-ops, supporting markets. It's not the kind of capitalism where billionaires own everything. So just so when you see that desktop, you know what we're talking about. Okay, so yep, I sent the tweet out. All right, cool. Let's get into World of Warcraft, baby. Just a second. One of the things I haven't tested yet is chat. I need to see if Streamlabs is reading the chat. So I'll type something real quick. And, oh, there it is. Okay, so it did pop up on the screen. Cool. Just wanted to make sure that was reading. That was easy. Thought I'd have to import it, but Streamlabs is very intelligent, apparently. Okay. Let's get into World of Warcraft. So, a little bit more background on my World of Warcraft history. On my primary character that I'm going to be logging into here, Green Touch, I have, well, I'll show it when I get in. It's like 330 days of slash play time. That is a ton, because that's 24 hours for each day. That's a lot of game time. And actually, I wanted to show one more thing before we actually got into that. So I've played a crap ton, and up through Wrath of the Lich King and Cataclysm, I was in a top 20 world guild, which means we were killing the bosses. It's very competitive as to who kills them first. And there are many, many thousands of guilds. And most people who play World of Warcraft never even kill all the bosses like while they're current. So if you're killing them competitively and trying to be part of the race to the world first, it's a pretty high level of gameplay. And I was a Resto Druid. I had a guide that had 250,000 views on it. I was an active theory crafter and elitist jerk, stuff like that. Now in real life, the reason I was playing so much was because my life sucked and I was unemployed. And eventually I had to quit WoW entirely to get my life back together. Just came back April 30th into World of Warcraft. I missed it. I've been playing a lot of other games since then. And I was thinking to myself, why am I not playing World of Warcraft? I've been a little scared to get back into it. But it's like I'm playing games anyway. I'm not going to get addicted. I have a life now. I have a wife. I have a job. The cool thing about World of Warcraft is there's so many different ways of playing it. And there's so much to do. And the stuff you accomplish here never goes away because this game is never going away. It's been here since 2004 and it's still going strong. And that's kind of cool. Other games I've played, like you play it for a couple months and then you get bored and you move on and everything you accomplish in that game is kind of gone. But World of Warcraft doesn't. So I'd encourage you to play it if you're not playing it. It is a cool game and I like it. Okay, so... no, that's not what I wanted to show. I wanted to show which add-ons I have downloaded so far. So like I said, I downloaded the add-ons. I have not actually set any of them up. So this is what I have. Radier IO, Mythic Plus, and Raid Progress. So this is just so you can see what people's Radier IO score is, which is very important if you're pugging. It kind of sucks because there's a lot of good players that have low Raider IO scores, so it's not the whole world. But when you're pugging, you don't know anything about people. Unfortunately, that is the reality you face with. So, yeah, it's a good add-on to have. Speaking of which, since I'm here, Speedy Auto Loot, I would never play without it. It's a very simple, basic add-on. It makes it so it's gonna with one click to loot a corpse. It's not only going to loot that corpse, open up the window, take all the loot, put it in your bags, and then close the window. It's also going to loot all the corpses within your range with that one click. So instead of clicking each corpse individually, you can loot a whole bunch of corpses at once. So Life-saving, super simple app, very important. Auctionator is for using the auction house, very important. Battle Pet Breed ID shows what type of breed it is, which is, so that way you don't have to do math when you're looking at battle pets. So if you only care about that if you're going to do battle pets, but why not? Battle pets are kind of cute. It's basically, if you haven't played World of Warcraft, battle pets is they have this huge game, World of Warcraft, which is huge because they've been adding on to it since 2004, and then they decided, oh, let's also put in Pokemon. So you got to find them all. There's like little critters all over the place. You can catch them just like Pokemon, and then you can battle them. It's kind of fun. Deadly Boss Mods is an essential mod if you're going to do raiding and competitive PvE content. You can play without it. Vosh likes to brag about playing without it. You'll be a better player with it. Might as well. Gather Mate 2, if you're doing any gathering at all, herbalism, mining, stuff like that, very important. It shows everything. Once you've looted something once, it's going to save that node on your minimap, so you'll start to see over time the density of it, and it just makes it easier, so that's good. Hekeli, this is a mod that actually automatically tells you an ideal rotation for DPS. So especially if you're playing a lot of different specializations and characters, and you don't have the time to really master it, it just makes it kind of easy and brainless to get a pretty good DPS rotation. It's not going to be maximal. So if you really want to like raid at a top end, you want to be really good, don't download that, or at least turn it off for your main character and maybe turn it on for your alts, because you want to actually know what you're doing. You want to min-max it if you're going to raid at a high level. But it's, you know, I'm just starting out. I have multiple specializations. It's kind of good for that. Hiding bar really cleans up your UI. Recommend that because it puts all the little buttons from your add-ons all into one little hidden place, so they're not cluttering up your minimap. MDT guide, Mythic Dungeon. That's Mythic Dungeon tools. So this is for setting up your Mythic Dungeon runs. Omen threat meters for threat. Opie pet tracker. It's another battle pet add-on that tells you which pets are available, which areas. So it's a map tool. Scattered damage meter. This is an essential one everybody should have if you do any PvE content at all. I'll show how that's set up. TomTom's little questing arrow. Voodoo is what I've been using for healing. It's a good healing add-on. Possibly not the best. I'm actually debating going to a more grid system with mouse overs. But for now, we're going to set that up tonight. We're going to see how it is. Weak auras. Super essential, and I just realized I'm going to have to download some more stuff for that. Now, there's one other add-on I had to download that was not on Curse Forge. So to start setting up your WoW interface, you're going to want to go to Curse Forge and download that. It just makes everything so much easier. It's a very easy way to manage your add-ons and download them. So just go to the official Curse Forged and download it. But the one, this is my a really good basic UI tool that's not on Curse. So for this one, you gotta actually go to, I guess it's Tokai, tukui.org, and download it through them. So there it is. It didn't actually give instructions for how to, because this is a manual. So you'll want to Google how to download LVUI, and you'll get a step-by-step. I'm not going to do that right now, but I will show you how to set it up. So let's set up some stuff. So that's all of them. I'm going to have to download the Weak Auras packages, and I'll show you how to do that once I'm in-game, because you do it in-game. Okay, cool. Let's go. Yeah, actually, let me set up a scene in OBS that does not have a cam. So we're talking about the UI here. That sounds loud. Just a second. I'm going to have to download the Weak Auras packages, and I'll show you how to do that once I'm in-game, because you do it in-game. UI here. That sounds loud. It's just a second. Yeah, let's definitely turn that down some. Master volume 100%, Jesus. Yeah, let's try it like that. Okay. So let's see, fastest way to change my scene. I'm just going to duplicate that. Name it. I'm going to delete the entire webcam. It doesn't let me delete the entire thing. Oh well. Seriously? Oh, I can just hit the little... That'll work. Yeah. There we go. Okay, that looks good. And the chat is working. All right, let's look through some stuff. So when you first log in, it's going to look a little different because there's some pop-ups. All I did was get rid of the pop-ups so I could do my missions yesterday. So this is the SCADA add-on. You can track all kinds of stuff through here, and I'm not going to get into all the intricacies of everything, but just the basics of navigating it and using it. You can, anytime you're not in combat, you can just move it around like this by clicking the top, and you can change the size of it like that. And if you right-click, you can choose total or current fight, depending on what you want to see. If you do current fight, main things you're probably going to want to look at is if you're DPS, you're going to want to track DPS. If you're a healer in a larger raid with multiple healers, you might want to be tracking healing. But if you're like healing, if you're the only healer, there's no point to tracking the healing necessarily. So you'd probably want to watch DPS or something else. And if you're a tank, there's you can use the threat here. Right there, threat. So let's see, I'll just have it on the DPS for now. Maybe I'll hit a target dummy when we're done and see how that goes. So for now, we're going to put that over there. This is coordinates, which I think is part of one of the things we downloaded. So sometimes if you're looking for something and you like Google it to see where something is in World of Warcraft, it'll give you coordinates. So that'll help you find that. I'll put that directly under my little mini map there. Open. This is one of the pop-ups. You usually get a pop-up when you download a new add-on, and that's one of the ones I didn't close. So opening up the map is going to tell you a little bit about this. So it automatically shows you where pets and battles and stuff are, and it's a little annoying, so I'm probably going to disable a lot of that. Later. Anyway, let's see. So we got that out of the way. So let's set up the basic interface first. So this is the default LVUI. Was it EC brings it up? Yeah, EC. So /EC brings it up. And let's start setting some stuff up. So this in the middle is the Hekeli setup I was talking about. So that is not part of the LVUI. The LVUI does change the map though, and it changes your chat, and it changes your buttons and your frames. this is the voodoo here, but like pretty much LVUI changes just about everything, and then that's fine. So let me see what I want to change here. So I can toggle anchors like that, and now I can drag stuff around and put it wherever I want. So it's very important. You want the space around your character to be fairly open, because you need to see if there's swirlies and stuff to move out of the way of. So this space is prime real estate, and I want this empty. So a talking head frame. If I'm in a raid and the raid boss pops up and starts talking to me, I'm not going to want it right here, am I? Because then I'll be standing in fire and not know it. Definitely going to change that up to here. I could hide it, but sometimes I like to see the RP stuff. Let's see. Talking head frame. Loop frame. I don't really care about this. I'll put it there for now. So that's just stuff that pops up sometimes. Okay, this is the raid frame. So since I have voodoo, I don't technically need this, so I'm probably going to disable it. These are the chat windows. I could make them bigger, but I don't think I will. I think that's fine. Now, what I don't like is there's a bunch of wasted dead space here. You see that? So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to move my player frame and my target frame all the way over to the side. I don't have totems. And am I going to play a shaman? I don't think I'm going to play a shaman anytime soon. So I really don't care. Let's just put that there, and I'll never see it because I'm not playing a shaman. And let's get me more space for my actual buttons. I don't play any classes with a pet either, but that's okay. And we'll put the target frame at the same height. Try to make it match the other side so it looks good. Target of target frame. Focus frame. That's fine. Experience bar. I don't think either of these ever really pop up for me. I think that's fine. Let's see, pet bar, bar 4. Alright, so that's fine for now. Now let's go into the actual bars. Two. What am I forgetting here? Oh, player bars. Okay, so this is general, which is fine. Let's go into them individually. So that's bar 1. Where's bar 2? It's not even enabled. I definitely want bar 2. I'm going to want to move that. Bar 3. Where is this? It's that one. I do want it to be full size, because I highly recommend binding every ability you have and practicing using them, because Blizzard's done a great job, I think, of getting rid of unnecessary stuff. Like, they used to have buttons that you would like never use. They've gotten rid of unnecessary stuff. If you have an ability, there's probably a time where you would use it if you're min-maxing. So bind them, practice using them even when you technically don't need to, just so you can practice that key bind and be able to use it. So I do want to have all my buttons. Now, I'm going to have everything showing so I can see it in a bar. Eventually, I'm going to reduce the transparency so it doesn't show up quite as much and you can see through it. And eventually, I'm going to reduce the transparency to where you can't see them at all, because you shouldn't need to look at them. The ultimate goal is to memorize all this stuff so you don't have to look at it, and you'll just have a weak aura that tells you your cooldowns and ticks and everything you need to see, and you can save a lot of space in your UI and keep it more empty by disabling that stuff. But I'm not there yet, so let's make that all the buttons. Buttons per row, 12. There we go. Let's see. What is this? Okay, it's that one. I think that's fine. I like that for just stuff like Hearthstones and Professions and just random shit that is never urgent to use, but it's handy to have it out there to click on. And bar 5, what is this? I don't think I'm going to need that bar. So on my other computer I had 3 bars here. I think that's all I need. Did I have 4? No, I had 3 here. Yeah. Should be able to have everything I need. So that's 12 per. So that's 36 different buttons with those 3 bars. And then a few more here, but you shouldn't need any of these for playing the game. So that should be plenty for all my classes. Which one is this? It's that one. This one I want all 12 buttons, but they can stack it. That's fine, because it's just above the loot thing. Okay. Okay, don't need the other bars. You can add more bars, as you can see, if you feel the need to, but I'm not going to need more. Let's toggle anchors again. I'm going to move this stuff around a little bit. Let's make this sit just right on top of the chat bar. And let's move that so they're one on top of the other. Wait a second. I'm missing a bar. I had one for my forms, for my druid forms. I've had it right below there. And where's my casting? Player cast bar. Yeah, it was a weak aura that gave me a cast bar up here. Okay, so that's fine. Put the experience bar directly over this. I'm going to move these down substantially more, give myself more space in the prime territory. Like that. I could make them bigger too, but I think that's going to be good. Okay, zone ability. Definitely want this kind of more out of the way, but still available, because there are some raids where sometimes you have something like that vehicle leave button similar. Boss button kind of similar, so we'll just have these 3 buttons that I don't actually. Let's put the zone button on that side. I think it's the one I use the most, so these will just be kind of out of the way but available if they're needed. Okay. Tweak this stuff later if I need to, but I think this is fine. I think this is what I'm used to. Player buffs, debuffs. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. So that's the LV UI. You can play with all of this stuff and tweak it, but this is good to start with. So this is the hidden bar add-on I downloaded. And So, where's Hekeli? Here it is. Can we lock all this stuff together so I don't have to move it all one at a time? Fuck it. I had these to the side, so if I need that suggestion, it's available. It is a crutch. Do not recommend it, except for alts and specializations. You don't play it very often. But it is super useful for those. Okay. Notifications. I don't remember Hekeli having notifications. Hopefully that's not something that's going to spam me, or I will shut that shit off. Okay, so that's Hekeli. It's actually been pretty smart. I haven't needed to set it up, I don't think. Let's just hit a target dummy here real quick. I think I already had my keybinds set up. The other buttons on my mouse I have changed, so those will need to be rebound. So let's do key bindings. Now, key binding is one of the most important things if you want to be a good player. And you got to think about the mechanics of where your fingers are and what your fingers are doing. So, for instance, I'm playing with WASD movement keys. First thing you want to do, if you're in the habit of backing up in World of Warcraft like this, unbind your S key so you cannot back up, because good players basically almost never back up because you're moving slower. There's no use to it. If you want to back up, you can just turn a little bit and strafe, and now you're running full speed, but there's like literally no reason why you'd want to move at half the speed. There's nothing worse than being in a raid and watching some scrub going like this to get out of something and dying because you didn't move fast enough. It's like, no, don't do that. Yeah, so unbind your S key if you're in the habit of doing that. I'm a healer. There's a lot of times I just want to reposition slightly, and it's not urgent because I have a lot of instances of cast, and it's so yeah, I have it bound, but that's fine. The other thing you're gonna do, the natural default keybinds. Let me just open them up here actually. My keybounds have imported over because they were already set up, but typically you have move forward, move backward, and then you have turn right and turn left as A and D, and then you have Q and E as strafe left and straight right. Get rid of those turn buttons. Like, people who keyboard turn are also bad. This is keyboard turning. So I still have the buttons bound to my arrow keys, which I basically never use. But if I was, for some reason, wanted to, I could. But those are bound over here because I never use them. So what you do is you make it so your A and D keys are actually strafe buttons. And any turning you do with your mouse, because your mouse is like fast. As long as you have your mouse setting and speed how you want it, you know, it's, yeah, this is what you want. You want to be able to snap, 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 snap. Not like that, no. So, very important, key bindings. A and D is going to be your strafe and left, and get rid of the turns and the backwards if that's something you're in the habit of doing. Now, for the rest of this stuff, I already have it bound, and you can play with that on your own. But let's go through. Oh, wait, I wanted to do this. So I can, with LVUI, I can do that, and I can just actually click the buttons I want and then change the binding. So when you're setting up your keybinds, there's a few things to keep in mind. For one, you want to think about the type of ability, and you want to have it set up so that when you change between specializations and different characters, your keybind still makes sense. So it's easier to carry your skills from one to another to another. So how I have this set up. This is my mouse button, my mouse scroll button click. It's always been something that's really fast and easy for me. So, excuse me. So I typically have a stun and a second stun and then an interrupt. That's the kind of abilities I have here. Now, I don't have many stuns as a balance or as a druid, so I have one of my short cooldown damage abilities there as balance. And resto, I just put a heal there that I never really use because I heal with voodoo. And I have my interrupt in the same place it always is. So, excuse me. So this row is all my keybinds with no modifiers. This row is the same button, but with a shift modifier, and this row is the same button with a control modifier. So again, back to the mechanics of how you're thinking about this. In order to move quickly, you need 3 fingers. You need W, A, and D. So if I'm doing quick and precise movements, I got crazy shit going on in a raid. I got, you know, like Sire Denarius, there's like lasers and the blade zips and there's swirlies, and you got to react fast and you got to move around. So I'm going to need all 3 of these fingers at the same time sometimes. So if there are buttons that you use as part of your regular rotation, I need to be that are especially instant cast. I need to be able to use those while moving. So I cannot put those keybinds anywhere these 3 fingers are going to be needed for, because I'm going to be needing this for moving. Why am I getting a cough? Excuse me. Okay. So these 3 fingers, movement. This, my pinky I'm using for the modifier, shift and control. And then my thumb is for jumping. Could use it for alt as well, but I have enough modifiers, I don't need it. And then I do bind Q, E, R, F, sometimes C and V for other things. But they're not going to be things that are part of my regular rotation. So for instance, I had, for Q, I had an Opie wheel that is a bunch of like survival cooldowns. And E, I had a bunch of movement speeds to like dash and stuff. And then F, I had mounts and stuff like that. And I think C was just like eating and stuff like that. So there's nothing urgent. Most of my keybinds, again, are going to be those mouse buttons I already talked about. So this is mouse scroll wheel click. This is mouse scroll wheel up. This is mouse scroll wheel down. Let's do the. So those are already correct. I don't need to change those. This is. This button on this particular mouse. So let's actually blank out all of these so they don't be bound to the wrong thing. Escape, escape, escape. Okay. So we're just going to go in order that I bound them. So 1, 2, and then 3, and then 4. And then 5, and then 6, and then 7, and then 8. And then these were for pulling that one button up, so these are not as fast reactions. And you want to think about what you're binding so that you can put the appropriate abilities on it. So now I'm going to do shift those buttons. That, and that, and that, and oh, yeah, that was, that, and that was that. Well, that's actually, change that. So that was F9 is F10. And again, it says F8, F9 because it's what I bound to the mouse. I'm not reaching up to the F keys for these abilities, obviously. Okay. So that one, pull that up. Well, let's do a shift to that as well. And then this will be the other one with no modifier. Okay. Let's do the controls. Oh, no. I'm doing shift. Fuck. Okay, control. Yeah, I just unbound everything I'd already bound. They are not sending their best, people. I am not sending my best. Making sure I'm binding the right ones. I want to make sure it's the same button, just with a modifier is what I'm looking at. Since these are important keybinds, double checking the work is always good. Alright. Control 1, Control 2. And that button, and that button. Cool. Alright, so those are all the buttons bound. Now let's talk about why I placed them where I did, because I've already set this up. I'm currently balanced. Just check. I haven't set up my Oakley reel yet. So yeah, I like to have my main rotation abilities on my mouse wheel. It's just what I'm used to because I've used a lot of different mices, and they have buttons in different places, and they all have a mouse wheel. So I like to use that. So I have mouse wheel up, mouse wheel down, mouse wheel click, and these are my main abilities. Obviously, as balanced, Druid, you have your 2 dots instant cast, you have your 2 spam abilities, and then you have your actual power burners, which is Star Surge over here, and then Starfall over here. So these 2 buttons are not something I need to spam, but they are something I need to have access to quickly, and if I need to. So these are those buttons on my mouse. They're really fast, easy to click on, but I'm not going to be using this part of my general rotation. So these are usually in all my different types of characters. These are going to be different types of CC, and you can see it's kind of CC and slows here. There's pushback, roots, cyclone, vortex, and hibernate. So I have all my CC on those 2 buttons. And these are those 2 that I hit with my knuckles, which are super fast. One of my fastest reaction buttons, probably the fastest reaction buttons. So for this, I have survival ability. So bark skin reduces my damage, and on all my characters, if they have any survival type abilities, they'll be on this same position. Most classes have some kind of ability that reduces damage taken, and you put them there. Now, tanks often have way too many, so then I need to start moving them to other places as well, and using more of the buttons. You can see some of the places are blank on this particular character. On other characters, I'm using them all. So it just depends which one I'm on. And then on this other one, which is the other knuckle, are movement abilities. So in this particular case, I have my Night Blade Blink and Dash, but it's whatever I have. On my Demon Hunter tank, I have my Infernal Strike here. And then my on these 2 buttons, which are the thumb buttons on the side, I have typically cooldowns, that stuff that you don't spam, but you want to have handy. So these are damage cooldowns, as you can see. So Convoke Spirits, and this is a trinket, but it's a macro, so it's also bound to the whatchamacallit ability. You know the one, the whatchamacallit, Celestial Alignment. So it's a macro that fires the trinket and Celestial Alignment at the same time. Okay. And then these 2 are on the side, very quick to react with. And Soothe is an important ability for a druid to have bound that you don't need usually, but when you need it, you need it. I'm going to have to stop stream soon. I don't know what's happening to my voice. But it's important to have this where you can reach quickly. Because in like a Mythic 15, when a mob enrages, you want to soothe that shit quick before the thing dies. So I have that there. And then I have other stuff that's not really urgent, that just happens to be bound to these buttons. Because the F9 and F10 buttons, like I already have enough binds for the other ones, so that's an important one. Fishing, not important. I just have that there because it's easy. Then I have a few heals staggered through. Kind of nice for PvE questing content, that I can just hit the button and do the heal. That's not what I'm using when I'm healing a group. When I'm healing a group, I have Voodoo. So, alright, so that's all set up. Okay, let's go in. Just a second, actually. Wanted to check a couple things. Alright. Back to it. Alright, so where are we? So I want to play some 15s. Oh, I'm going to have to set up my Voodoo, because I usually play... My best role is still healing, although I'm learning balance and tanking as well. Let's get our missions out of the way here real quick. One of those add-ons included is a bag add-on. It might be part of Elview, I'm not sure. It's really handy. You can click this button to vendor all your grays just automatically. This button shows what bags you have equipped, and you can select a default item class to go into each bag. So I have trade goods, consumables, equipment, and then just general, and that's general too. So handy. That stuff. Let's see. Got a bunch of bags out of those missions. Okay. Alright, so what are we going to do mission wise? So I always check first to see if there's any experienced ones, because if there are, I'm going to want to put my best my best characters on the ones that give them experience so I can level them up faster. But I don't have any. So maybe I'll move the campaign forward. Let's see, 12,000 health. That's a lot. Damn, not too bad. So let's just see if I think I can do this one. What are the abilities here? Smash. It's not a ton of damage. It's a 4-round cooldown. Hurls a javelin. It's not a ton of damage. Reduces the damage allies take by 50% for 2 turns on a 5-round cooldown. Yeah. That's not too bad. So, if there's a lot of damage, especially from melee hitting the melee class, that's why you want to look at the abilities. It's usually best to have a tank in the middle, because they're going to take strikes from both of the melee in the middle. So that's usually going to be the position taking the most damage. They don't seem to be doing a ton of damage, and she only invigorates adjacent allies, increasing their damage by 20%. So the only position I think that works, yeah, see, it's lighting them up. The only place where you can hit everybody is right there. So I'm going to put her there. That's what legendary melee. I do want to level up my tank, so I'm going to put the tank in there anyway. And alright. That does a lot of damage. So that's half the health up there, and a little less than twice the damage. So with that kind of ratio, it's kind of a coin flip whether that would be successful, I believe. Let's try a couple other combinations, see if we can make it look a little better. Dealing turn for to all enemies and that seems like a good one. I boosted our damage significantly, but reduced our health significantly. Wow. Ain't a tank for nothing. So, health went down a little bit, but damage went up pretty significantly. I think that's a net increase. I say we try it. Worst that can happen is we die. Okay. So all of these I can use a single character just to get the stuff real quick, and then troops for the rest. So let's see, we have 4, 5. I can do the same with these two, so 6, 7. So I want to reserve 7 characters for all of that, and put all the rest into this one. What's the ability? So the furthest enemy is actually going to take the most damage. Do I still have a tank? I do. Let's put the tank right there. And then yeah, we'll just use some of our better characters. Not really looking too close because it's going to be fairly easy. How many does that leave me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. Let's go. Alright, so I don't have to really think about these because these are going to be easy mode at this level. So when I'm not looking at stuff, I just put 1 in there, whatever it is. I want 3 melee in I typically do 2 melee, 2 healers, and then whatever the frick the other one is. And that's never failed me on these easier missions, so I don't even need to look at it. And the 2 healers typically make sure that I keep my health near max, so I can run missions just, you know, I don't have to wait for them to recover. So, bam, 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 that, bam, 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 bam. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Dude, when I just scrolled through here, there wasn't an experience one, was there? Was I blind? Okay, I'm gonna literally look at my own stream to see if I missed that. Okay, let's go back to when I first scrolled through here. Tell me I'm not that stupid. Okay. Yeah, that experience one was not there. Fuck. I made my decisions based on the fact it wasn't there. Yeah, I would have put all my best characters in that one just to get them some experience, but whatever. This should last. Yeah, this will be here tomorrow, so I'll just save that one for tomorrow and do the other ones. I only have 1 left. So let's Alrighty. So that's my mission's done. Anytime you change your keybinds, make sure you practice with them, because you. I keep being annoyed because I'm trying to do something, and I realize I haven't set it up yet because it's a new computer. It's just muscle memory, the way I had it set up on the old one. So I need to set up my OPI before I fuck with this. So that's slash. That's enter / OP. Like that. And I had... Oh, one of the rings they already have. Wait, oh, over here was specializations in travel. So that one I just had bound to F. No, actually. I had that bound to F on some of my characters. On my druid, I actually had shapeshifts. So, let's see. I remember putting a macro there. Am I missing something? I don't remember this macro, so I don't trust it. And I don't want to look at it right now. So, let's see, abilities. What am I missing? I need travel form, that's what I need. I'm going to put that first, and I want to make it the quick slice, which apparently isn't enabled yet. So let's bind that to F, like that. So you just click that and then put in your binding. I love OPI. I'm going to show you why it's awesome in a second, but everybody should use OPI. It's really easy to use. You can just add a new slice here, and you can add any abilities, items, battle pants, mounts, macros, equipment sets like toys. Like you can add everything to these OPI rings. It's freaking awesome. Now I'm not missing smooth kid. Okay. Travel farm. Yeah, that's all my farms. Okay, so that's fine. I do like to have some mounts though. So put them on the ring too. So that'll be random. So this summons random favorite mount. Kind of nice to just switch stuff up sometimes. I don't usually use a mount with a druid because I'm lazy, but sometimes you just want to, flex on somebody, show them some cool mounts. Or, oh, that's right. I just transferred faction, and my my only mount that has the repair vendor on it is a faction mount that I no longer have access to, which is kills me. Just kills me. Now, what were my cool mounts? I had Warhouse, Warhorse was kind of cool, but I had Rivendare's Charger. Yeah, Rivendare's Charger. I think that's the rarest mount I have at the moment. Sea Turtle's cool sometimes. Except I'm a druid, so I don't need it. So fuck that. Anything else I want to add here? So yeah, add all this cool stuff in. Chauffeured mechanical. Yeah, maybe. Okay, that's fine. So now that's that. Now I hit the F key. Bam. I can quickly select anything I want. So what this does is opens up a lot of your bar. I would need more than 3 bars if I didn't use OPI on a couple of my keybinds. So F, bam, I have all my my forms and my mounts here. So now I can go Moonkin and I need to set up my weak orders. It's driving me crazy. So yeah, you can see Hikele is giving me recommendations that I was not following, but there, we'll follow them. And there we go. Wrath, 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 and then Starfall, and then Shift, and Starfire, and again. And you see how it works. It's giving me recommendations as I go. And it's pretty smart. I don't think it's perfectly optimal, but it's pretty smart. Alright, so, anyway. Okay, what should I set? Let's set up my weak auras. Yes, that is important. Now, where did I import that stuff from? Let's go weak auras first. Which one was that one? Left click, shift click. Options will fit. Oh, it's because I'm in combat. Oh, there it is. Not loads. Okay. So I'm going to import some... Weak auras lets you track anything very easily. And it's super... It gives you so many options for how you set stuff up. You can set it up yourself, but it's a lot of work. Since it gives you so much flexibility, it's easy to just import a setup that somebody else has already put the work into. And it's super easy to do that. Let's show you how here. So, it was Wago, right? Wago, weak auras, Druid. Just Google it. I think that's going to come up. And Luxthos, I'm pretty sure is the one Luxthos. This is the one I used for all my characters, and I love it. Luxthos, whoever that is, has these for every character I've tried so far, and they're beautiful. They work so well. So let me show you how that works. So I just Googled it, came up, and now there's 3 different groups. I'm going to install all 3, and they work for all the specializations. It's awesome. So let's see. All you do is, now I'm here, this is Druid Core, copy the import string like that, tab back to the game, and import, and it just gives you a place to paste it. I paste it in, pops up, I say import group, just like that. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So then I'm going to import again, toggle back. I just did the core, Druid Core, so now I'm going to do utilities. Same thing. Copied. Bam. Import group. Like that. Import. And dynamic. And copy. And paste. And import group. And bam. It is done. So these, like I said, it's for every specialization, and it tracks everything that's important. This is why I said I don't need to see the bars. Once I'm 100% confident, I'm never going to forget the keybind again. So the advantage of having it here is that I'm like, oh shit, which button did I have Cyclone bound to again? I can look and be like, oh, that was that button with the shift modifier, right? Now you don't want to have to look at that. You want everything just memorized. But that's why that's there. For actually like cooldowns and dots and stuff like that, and my astral power, all this kind of like my mana, tracks everything. So these are my dots. So you can see it's now counting the seconds down on my dots. These 2 buttons here is to track getting into my Eclipse. And it's different for every character, like rogues, demon hunters, like whatever resource they use, it tracks it. It's genius. I love it. So in this case, I can cast 2 Wraths or 2 Starfires to trigger the Eclipse. So this is saying Wraths. I'll do 2 Wraths, and bam. Now I'm in Eclipse mode, and I can. You see, it's got Starfire highlighted, so I know which one to cast. So with this, if I'm thinking about what I'm doing, I really don't need the Hekeli. This is just kind of like cheating. So this I would keep no matter what I was doing. This is beautiful, and I love it. It's also tracking cooldowns on the side, as you can see. So this here is like Invoked Spirits. This one is the Celestial Alignment. So you say just use both of those. That's my Blink. Right there. And it's up here. And that's my Interrupt. There it is, an Interrupt. And my Typhoon. So kind of tracks all those things I might need access to. What I'm thinking about is whether I want to move the whole array down a little bit. Whenever I'm playing difficult PvE content, I'm going to be zoomed out like this all the way. However, when I'm questing and there's like lore, sometimes it's fun to zoom in a little bit and kind of see, you know, the details of armor and what things look like. It makes you a little bit more immersive. And when I zoom in, as you can see, all of a sudden now it's covering up my feet. And I do not want that. Works fine for the raid when I'm like this, because I can still see the space around my character, but I think I'm going to want to move that. How did I move this stuff? Move. Can I just... Oh, here it is. Oh, just like that. See what that looks like. Centered. Oh, and as for the zoom in and out, by the way, I bound that to Alt and the mouse wheel, because I use Shift and Control for my main things. I never use the Alt modifier, but I don't zoom in and out very often, so for that I have bound to the Alt. Okay, so now I can zoom in a fair amount without obscuring my feet. So a little more immersive at this level. See what's going on. It's not too bad. Cool. I like it.
You nourish me with your presence.
Did I have animated? Yeah. Get that shit out of my bags. I love being Night Fae. Like, it just fits druids for one thing, but for druids, having that blink, having convoked spirits, it's so much fun. All right, I think there's stuff ready to pop. Let's see if we got anything fun. So I'm a habitual min-maxer, so I usually just run through and pop all 3 so I don't have to wait for the RP. And then I run up and check on any quests, because they give dailies up on her. Let's see. I think there's like a pet or a mount or something I haven't gotten with those untamed spirits. I did that one. Oh, I didn't finish setting up the Opie. I'm going to be finding things I haven't set up yet for some time, probably. There's just so many things to customize. Let's see. Shapeshift. Use first last one open. Pre-select You must enable. Why can't? Is that a general setting? Quick action at ring center? Is that it? Pre-select a quick action. It must have been it. Okay. That's the one I want as the quick action. There, so I just tap F. I don't have to move the mouse at all. Wait a second. It's making me a cat. I don't want to be a cat. I want the travel form.
I need to target something first.
That should be the quick action. No, that's quick action. Use first slice when open. Maybe that's it. There we go. Why am I converting? What? Okay, this is not how it was working for me before, so I'm very confused. Okay, so it's using the ability before I release the key. So when I push it, it uses it, and then when I release it, it uses it again. That is not what I want. I want to tap the button and it to be one use. So whatever I did. Did not work. Let's see. Is that not it? I feel like that was it. Maybe that's the one I don't want. Pre-select a quick action slice. Let's try this again. So it made me a cat. I don't want to be a cat. Are you fucking kidding me? Maybe I need to do a reload. That's not supposed to be happening. I'm gonna go crazy. Just had a thought that maybe a different bind is set up to F. Are tied to F, and actually the pie like is showing these abilities, so it is the same one. It's tied to F. Pre-selected quick action slice. It's supposed to be that one. Are you fucking kidding me? What happens if I change it? It just wants to be cat. Unbelievable. By the way, I used to be Alliance, so I call the dinosaur type weird things what I'm used to. So I'm calling that cat when it's really not a cat necessarily. And I call this bear even though it's not a bear. And that's Moonkin, even though that is not a Moonkin. I'm really annoyed. Why? Why? Center rings, add mouse. Maybe that's it. There's no quick actions here. Oh, praise Jesus. I don't know why that changed it, but it did. We finally... That's what it was supposed to be doing. I'm going to put my cam back up. I want to see how this is working. It's supposed to be a test screen. Test stream. There we go. Okay. Very good. That. And that. Let's see what cool stuff we got. Okay. Just stuff to sell at the auction house. Make some moolah. Ditto. And ditto. Okay, nothing too exciting. Let's just make the let's make temporal leaves. See why I have the travel mount on the quick action. It's just you spend a lot of time just running around doing stuff, and whereas a lot of raids and dungeons are not actually outdoors, so I can't use travel for them, it's still worth it to me to have that quick access. And it really, like, if I need to move to a different form, it just takes a second. All you have to do is hit the key and, like, move the mouse slightly. So it's... I'm perfectly good doing that even in a raid situation, to just move it around. I still like having the default quick action to be the travel form. Alrighty. So I just sped those two up. Let's get the...
Too far away.
Let's boost the quality of the stuff that's going to spawn in these things with the catalysts. And let's see. I'm going to use 3 of the same seeds. Looks like I have untamed spirits enough to go around. And that. Okay, all done in here. Okay. Here it is in inventory. Alright, fuck it. Let's do a little quick fishing. Just because we're here. Can't believe it's 11 o'clock. I spent all day setting up my room here with the lights and the camera and my new computer and downloading stuff and setting it up and all day. Well, I also went to the dump, so that was fun. I wanted to be streaming way sooner. But that's okay. I'm all set up for tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to try to actually get people on try to start networking, reaching out to some people I know to raid into here, get some people in. I want to have good conversations. That's what I really want. Whether it's a debate or just somebody I agree with, just shooting the shit, telling stories. Let's see. Okay. That's that for the fishing. What else do I need? Oh, I need to. Let's set up the voodoo. That was what we promised. We're going to get the UI set up. I think that's the last major thing we need to set up to make sense. Oh shit, I just noticed over here I seem to have my I don't want that there. I don't want my druid forms over there. So let's toggle anchors. Move the stance bar. We'll just put it right here in the middle. Bank mode. I don't even know what that is. I don't know when it's going to pop up. I'm just going to put it here in the middle. And move that back to the bottom. I didn't disable the raid frames yet. Let's do that. Frames, group units, raid, disable the smart raid filter. Disable that. Go to group units, raid, disable, because I'm gonna have the voodoo, and you don't need double raid frames. That's just waste of your UI space. Okay, well, that's good. All right, so let's do how to set up voodoo. Yes. Now there's a bunch of cool stuff you can do in voodoo. I'm not going to get into everything. I might tweak it later. Let's just do the basics. So to start with, let's actually set up the basic panels here. So this is tanks and NPCs. I don't do separate private tanks. So I'll delete that. Sometimes you do need to heal an NPC, so I'll just leave that out there. Usually it's going to be empty because it's not going to be, there's not going to be anything there. So this is, I don't need pets. I never have pets. So that's up to 40 people in a raid. So let's show what that looks like. Oh, I need to hold it. So that's what it would look like with 40 people in it. Each one of those is somebody's health bar, and when it goes to 0, they die. So when you're a healer, it is your job to prevent that from happening. So that's usually kind of where I have it. Usually you're not in a 40-man raid. Usually it's more like 25. So I would have it kind of here to the side where it's like easy and quick to access, but not obscuring anything and not obscuring my feet. So that's fine for positioning. That's good. I don't think I need new panels. What are the main things I changed? Well, let's set up the spells, because that's the most important thing, is how you're actually healing. So you can use the left and right button here. So like for general gameplay, let me just get out of here for a sec. So right now, right button is spinning like that. and the left button is changing the camera. So I see this isn't actually moving my character, it's moving the camera. Whereas the right button actually steers the character. So I'm using both the left and the right, because sometimes you'll want to move and then kind of adjust the camera to look somewhere else. So usually I need both the left and right button for movement, so you can't bind them to actual abilities. But with Voodoo, this is important to know, because if you're mousing over here and you go to move, I can't move because instead I'm doing my keybind here. So in order to move, I do need to make sure my cursor is off of the Voodoo before I start spinning. But that's worth it because these are such primo keybinds, and that's important for healing. So I still keep it like that. Now if that bothers you and you want to be able to move no matter where your cursor is, you can just unbind both the left and the right buttons and then you'll be fine. But I like to keep it like that. So I'm going to have my 2 instant cast abilities on the left and right. I'm used to having Rejuve on the left button, like that. And then I have Life Bloom. Where are you hiding? There it is. I'm going to copy that, delete it. Move it over to no modifiers. This is no modifiers. Like that. So Rejuve, Life Bloom. Oh, let's go resto, just so I can be testing stuff as I go. There we go. All right. Click. Swiftman. I had Swiftman on the middle button. That's again one of my fastest reaction keybinds that I'm used to. So, like on a melee character, I'd have it bound to interrupt, and on my balance specialization, remember I had interrupt was bound to my mouse button. Click, not scroll up or down, just click. Well, on the Voodoo frame, when I'm hovering over the Voodoo frame, I have whole different keybinds, and Swiftman, when I'm healing, is my fastest reaction heal, just to bam, get somebody a heal stat. So, do I already have it in here somewhere I can just copy paste from? Are you kidding me? They don't even have it? Alright. Trying to be lazy here. You're not cooperating. Can I drag and drop? I forget. I can. Easy. Easy peasy. Drag and drop. Alright, so Swiftman's middle button. 4 and 5, these are the thumb buttons on the side of the mouse that like all mice have. And pretty sure I didn't have anything bound to that. So I'll take those off. And what did I have for? So for mouse scroll up, I had Scenario and Ward. And for mouse scroll down, I had Wild Growth. So this is what I have bound with no modifiers. Rejuve, Life Bloom, bam, Swiftman, Scenario and Ward, Wild Growth. Now, I like to have instant casts with no modifiers because when I'm moving is when I have the most fingers being used to move. So it's a little bit more difficult to use a modifier while I'm moving slightly. I mean, it's not difficult, but I just prefer to have instant casts with no modifiers if possible. Although, obviously, Wild Growth does have a cast. But, you know, I had that to spare. And I'm using it every 10 seconds religiously. So, might as well have it in there. So now Shift. Shift is easy. It's like where my pinky rests anyway. So that's an easy bind. And I'm going to have Regrowth there. So, you know, sometimes I am spamming Regrowth. It's fine. Just hold it down. Oh, that's right. It was up here, right? Yeah, it's a standard Druid ability. Shift. Right. And Nature's Cure. Nature's Cure was control. middle button. Yes. And so take that out. Right button was Iron Bark. It's a cooldown I can need to be able to drop on a tank if they need it. Yes, let's shift right. Just bam. And you see it tracks the weak ore has changed because I switched to Resto, so now it has more cooldowns because I have more cooldowns. And that's my Iron Bark, which is a key ability, so it's one of the ones highlighted here. So this just makes it real easy to track these key abilities. Super important. This efflorescence, keeping it down is a huge part of maximizing your output as a healer, and it's really easy to forget. This puts it right front and center. It's just going to keep ticking down. And obviously if the group moves, you want to move it with it. So you don't just rely on the cooldown. You actually should have to be looking at the group, making sure they're standing on it, or you'll want to move it. But then you'll see when it's about to end and when it actually ends just by watching through here. So it's really easy. Now, one thing I do have a problem with, it's tracking wild growth here. Let's see if it happens. See, I have my legendary, when I use Swiftman, extends HOTS by 10 seconds. And it's extending the cooldown of wild growth by 10 seconds. So I need to see if there's a solution for that. Because that's completely fucking me up. Because I think I don't have wild growth available yet when I actually do. And that's a huge part of throughput as a healer. I want to be using this every 10 seconds if there's any damage at all on more than 2 or 3 people. Or going to be. So having my weak ores that I'm relying on lying to me and telling me I don't have it when I do have it is just not cool. Why is it not showing? So it's not showing my life bloom on here. It shows my rejuve. It shows wild growth. It shows my regrowth. Yeah. It's showing snare and ward. Let's see. That's not showing that. And doesn't show Iron Bark. So I'd like to get those set up in Voodoo. Let's see. Let's finish setting this up. Middle button, I had my macro, my Nature's Swiftness macro. Highly, highly, highly recommend having this macro as a Resto Druid. Which one was it? So this is Efflorescence, which I do not bind to Voodoo because I want to actually look at the world and place it intentionally. So with this keybind, it's just going to drop it at the cursor. You see that's in the macro at cursor. So it's not show tip Efflorescence. Not super important. It just gives me the tooltip that shows what it is. And then /cast brackets at cursor Efflorescence. So that way, bam, wherever I want to drop it, it's there. Just like that. So that's a beautiful macro. It's just shift, mouse button, click. Like that. Easy peasy. And Nature's Swiftness. So this, yes, I'm pretty sure this is the... I have some old macros that probably don't work anymore, but I'm pretty sure this is the one that works. So with one click, it's going to both cast Nature's Swiftness, and then it's going to... Oh no, this is Healing Touch. Healing Touch doesn't exist here. That is an old macro. That does not work. Fuck. Where did I put the one that actually works? I think that's it. Let's test it. Yeah, see, clicking it triggered the Nature's Swiftness. It did not cast the regrowth. Where's my macro, man? Maybe it works when it's in Voodoo? I mean, obviously it's going to work now because it had already triggered, so I'm going to have to wait 60 seconds to try it again. Now, the macro is going to still work, so if I try to cast it when I don't have Nature Swiftness available, it's just going to regular cast a regrowth, which is better than doing nothing. So that's fine. So I'll wait till the cooldown's up, try that again. Did I have anything? I don't think I had anything on Shift Mouse Wheel scroll out. I was not using cooldowns through Voodoo. I have them bound otherwise. Yeah, this is a macro that casts my Trinket and then Tranquility. So I like to... I have several cooldowns, so I like to look at the use trinkets and see what the time is, and then tie them to a cooldown that is on the exact same timer, just to maximize that shit a little bit. That's Celestial Alignment. I gotta delete all these macros I'm not using. Such a fucking mess. Yeah, this one. So this works a charm. It's just show tooltip, use 13, and that's the slot the trinket's in. It's either 13 or 14 is your two trinket slots. So just bam, using my inscrutable quantum device, and it's also using my tranquility. Easy peasy. Works a charm. So I can leave regrowth there because typically I have it bound to shift left, but that way if I hit the wrong keybind or something, I guess I'll have it bound to both. That's fine. I don't care. Better to have something there than nothing. I think that's all my main abilities bound, if I'm not forgetting something. Well, hello, Lily. What are you doing? Half Papa Dog came and said hi. We have 5 dogs. So there's several of them. There's my kitty cat and Lily. Lily, come on, Lily. What are you doing? If she feels like you're ignoring her, she'll sit down and turn her back. Come on, girl. Come on. What are you doing? You gotta look at the camera. Come on, baby girl. What are you doing? What are you doing? Come on. Look at your camera. You're cute. Yeah. Look at the camera. You're not being cooperative. You're not being cooperative. I know. Look at you being cute. You're cute, but not for the camera. Yeah. With the paw. Yeah, I got both cats over here hanging out. There's Haley Bay. And the black one that was... black and white one. Tuxedo cat, specifically. Let's see. His name's Munster. Because he's a little monster. And he's buddies with the dogs. He always goes up and headbutts them and rubs up against them. Haley's less of a fan of the dogs, but she's getting into it now. Oh, I like that. They're being all good. I should have increased my camera if I'm going to be showing off all the cute little critters. There we go. There we go. Look at you guys getting along. Dogs and cats getting along. The first time Lily, the dog, ever met Haley, the fuzzy white and gray cat, she attacked her and grabbed her with her mouth and was like half a second away from killing her. Actually, and we yelled and she dropped her, thankfully. And thankfully, she wasn't hurt. She was just a kitten, too. She was like 2 months old. So that was the first time they met. So the fact that they've forgiven each other and buddies is a big step for them. But they've been in the same house for a long time ever since then. Lily's a foster. We got her, she was already like 4 or 5 years old. And she's a little impulsive. She's a real good dog, though. She only makes the same mistake once. So we yelled at her. She never attacked a cat again. Like, once she realized that was not okay, ever since then, she's been good. Did the same thing with a chicken. She had, like, saw a chicken, bam, went right for it. We yelled at her, never again. She just ignored him. Good dog. He's a good dog. But she's still a little impulsive. When we walk her, you got to be careful, because she'll, if she's surprised by, like, a bicyclist coming by from behind, she will snap at them, which is scary, and I do not want her doing that. So, anyway. Just a little distraction with the animals. Let's go back to that. See, there we go. Where were we? I'm just gonna go through my abilities real quick. Make sure I'm not missing anything. I have my Nature's Cure bound. Oh, I need Rebirth bound. I didn't bind that. I didn't have that bound, so don't have any of those. No, I had. Yeah, I had it bound to control right button. That's what it was. Bam. Very important ability. Want to make sure I can do that. Okay, that's working. Cool, cool, cool. Glad I checked because I was definitely missing that one. Let's see. I don't care about binding res to voodoo because I have it here on my bar. And it's never urgent out of combat. Okay, so that's all that. I have that bound under. Yeah, got life bloom. Phosphorescence isn't in voodoo, but I have it. Oh, let's try the. Please work. It worked! Okay. Confirmation. Macro works. With voodoo, does not work if I just hit the macro by itself, which is odd. But I'm going to get that off of my bar so I don't try to use it. I will only use that macro through voodoo. And just to confirm what that macro was in case somebody wants to use it with voodoo, that was this one. Show tooltip nature swiftness / cancel form in case you're in a form. Otherwise it won't do anything. / cast nature swiftness / cast add mouse over comma help no dead target help no dead regrowth. So I don't know how. I don't think that any of that's super essential, but if it doesn't apply, it's gonna go. It's just gonna keep going to the next one until one of them applies. And obviously, it worked with the regrowth, so that's fine. Okay. Let's just look through, make sure I'm not missing an ability. It's getting late here. I'm getting tired. Have that. That's bound on the bar as a cooldown. So is Innervate. Got Rejuve, got Iron Bark bound. Yes. Okay, we're good. So I am ready to go heal whatever. I am good. That's really all I needed to set up with Voodoo. I can go play at a top level. But if I can, I don't remember exactly how to change what I want to change, but I do know there's a couple things I wanted to change. So for one thing, if you'll remember, it's not currently showing me Life Bloom. Now it's showing it in my weak aura here, which is beautiful. Since you can only have Life Bloom on one target, and you want to have it up at all times, you want to track it. And the fact they give it so much real estate to track it is really cool, I think. I am good with that. That's super cool. And of course, this is my mana, which I want to keep an eye on. So everything I need to keep an eye on is right here. I can literally shut my bars off because it's all right here. Love it. Okay. Why is it not tracking a Life Bloom? Considered a buff. I remember, like, back when I was playing, like 10 years ago, and I was using Voodoo, I remember having it to where instead of an icon, like that, I had little bars, kind of like that one, that would track across each frame, which was pretty cool. I kind of like that. So I could track like 3 different hots with a bar. I don't know if I can do that anymore. Let's see. Are hots considered buffs? Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a little googling and figure this stuff out, I think. There's hot icons. Here we go. So it's under panels. Hot icons. Slot 1, regrowth. So yeah, I already have that. This is hard to read. What the fuck? So this is different ways to lay it out, I guess. 1, 2, 3. Do I have that one or that one? I like that one better. Okay, so regrowth would be there. All growth would be there for 2. Rejuve would be there. Nation. It's a talent I don't have, or legendary. But that's fine. Spring blossoms. Life bloom, obviously. There we go. What else do I want to check? Oh, AoE advice. What the fuck? I'm tracking a lot of stuff through here. What do I want? Oh, Scenario and Ward. That's what I wanted. So that's slot 7 right in the middle. Buy all. Yes, let's see what that looks like. Oh, it's way too tiny. Life bloom way up there. Scenario and Ward right in the middle. I'll go there. This big red dot is showing that I'm swifting on the hole, by the way. And I'm good with that. You can edit that as well. Let's make the icons bigger. That's the hot bars. Oh, I can do it. Tempting, tempting, tempting. Do I want to do it? It's the question now. Width of your hot bars. Alright. Let's try it. Because I did like that back when I used to do it. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Kitty, kitty. Why are you just jumping on my lap? I'm trying to play games over here. You gotta jump on my lap, you gotta look at the camera. You gotta look at the camera. So let's do my most important hots. Which should be Rejuve, Wild Growth, and Life Bloom. Yeah. Like that. Yeah. I like that. This matters because when you're healing and you're in a raid, things are going off like crazy. You have to be watching 15 different things out here, watching your feet, moving around, all while watching all of these frames and deciding what you're going to do as your next spell. Every 1 second, you need to be hitting a new spell. So every 1 second, you're deciding what to cast on who constantly. So you have very little time here. And like any instant and mental processing you can save, the better. Huh? Well, there's no pausing, but I can mute it.
You can't lock yourself in a room for 3 fucking hours and think that's cool. That's not cool. It's not. I don't mind if you talk online, but locking yourself is unacceptable.
I'm streaming.
This is not streaming. This is playing video games.
This is streaming.
So you've been streaming for 3 hours?
Yes.
I don't like it.
Well, we can talk later. I'm still streaming right now. Okay. Where was I? Oh, my camera got a little fucked up. Oh, the panels. Let's go back to the bars. I wanted them a little wider, and I'd kind of like to have them be different colors. Can I do that? Vertical turn axis, bars. It's not actually telling me what they look like. Why don't we put them in the middle? Because then I can have the hot icons around the outside. Except for scenario and ward, although I could probably move that. Do I have any I'm not using? 1, 2, 3. I don't really need that. That's 4. I don't think I need that. 5. I don't mind having a tiny icon. And the bar. I don't think that's gonna hurt me.
I require a target.
So yeah, let's take that out. And let's put it up here. Scenario 1. Okay. So now we have all of these around the edges, and the bars are in the middle. Why are you not letting me change the colors? I know I could do that before. It's got to be in here somewhere. Times. Yeah, if I have 2 different colors, it's going to be a little bit confusing. When I have 25 of these frames out here, like, is that wild growth or is that rejuve? They're too close together. And if I'm having the icons as well, yeah, it's just, I don't like it. I don't like it! So we're going to disable that shit. And we're going to go back to the hot icons. Only that we're going to make them bigger. Not crazy about the wild growth getting covered up by the Swiftman dot. Not crazy about it. Where do I set up my Swiftman? Not here. There's so much in Voodoo to set up. Jesus Christ. Ah, there it is. Swiftmendable. Can I move it? Because I don't... What did I have? Yes, there's nothing actually in the corner, so ideally I'd want to have that in the corner. I'm not seeing where I can move it. Well, barring that, what we can do is we can move the... Yeah, we could use that setup. Because that way the Swiftman dot's right there, and it shouldn't be interfering with anything. So let's try that one. I think these are a little bigger yet. Apply all. Let's see what that looks like.
I do not have a target.
You're just gonna continue in play. I mean, did it even fade you? Like, oh, my wife is upset. I should stop for a minute.
I'm streaming.
Yeah, you've been doing it for 3 hours.
Right now, with the camera on, and the microphone on.
Yes,
And I can't just like stop on a dime here. And we talked about this, and I spent all fucking day setting this up. And are you fucking kidding me right now?
Okay, so and you decide to do it as soon as I get home, and then for the rest of the night with the door shut, all by yourself. You don't find anything wrong with that? It's not cool, babe.
It is not cool what you're doing right now. Holy shit! Stop.
Well, because when you said you were streaming, I thought you were going to do like maybe an hour or so. I didn't know you were going to stream like live video game chat. I thought you meant like one of your YouTube videos or something.
Babe, this is not the time for this discussion.
So you just disregard my feelings?
Yes, because I'm in the middle of this, and I'm actually doing it, and I've been trying to do this for a long fucking time, and we've been talking about it, and I've spent $4,000 for a fucking computer. Like, holy shit, I'm doing this right now. I just had to fucking mute and like turn my camera off, and you're like disrupting my whole train of thought. Like, this is so outside of the realm of okay that it's wild to me.
That's how I'm feeling coming from you. Like, that you totally
That this one particular
you're totally
night...
disconnected from me. Like, you're just like door shut by yourself. You already have so much time to yourself. I've given you space. And now this is like a level
I am in the
up.
middle of something. We are not having this discussion now. Please close the door.
Wow.
Okay. I'm back. Where were we? Swiftman. I do like showing So it highlights people who are having threat right now.
Foes of the forest, beware.
Panels. Icons. Let's see if I like the position. So regrowth is covered up. So I'm gonna want to remove the regrowth ability, I think. So it looks like whatever's down here should be what, number 5? Yeah, it's not even being used. What the fuck is Spring Blossoms? It's nothing I need to try. So I think it's like a side effect of one of my abilities, and I just do not care. Is that when I... I thought it might be this... Oh, it's Field of Blossoms. When I fire Convoke, it makes a Field of Blossoms. I don't even know what Spring Blossoms is. Yeah. So let's get rid of that. And let's put Regrowth there instead. That. And this one is just going to be empty. I think this is going to be good. I like this. Rejuve, Life Bloom, Wild Growth, Scenario Warren. Don't need it in the middle. I need to disable those bars. I thought I already disabled them. Yeah, let's see. Get rid of number 7. Empty. You know what would be good for 7, actually, is Iron Bark. It's not going to be up there very often and will only ever be on one target. So it's not going to take up too much space. But I do want to see it when it's up. Can I not track Iron Bark? Really? I guess it's not one of the things I can... cooldowns? Yeah, okay. I would probably include Iron Bark, but then I can also see if they have a different one on there. Except it's not tracking Iron Bark. I don't even
How fares your hunt?
apparently have my bear abilities spawned here. Still not showing up. Where's bear form? Don't I get another? What are my other bear abilities? Cat form. Okay. I can only do that when I'm a guardian. Okay. Iron First definitely a tank cooldown. Why is it not tracking it? Garbage. What? Maybe it's only the actual tank. Maybe it's because I'm not Guardian spec. Anyway, I'll leave that up because if it tracks it, that'll be handy. I think I am good with... Oh, let's get those bars off. Empty. Empty. Again, maybe I'll leave it on. Yeah. Let's leave Rejuve, and we'll leave the middle one empty just so it's not confusing. Then we'll have Wild Growth. Let's see what that looks like. Just a lot of clutter. Yeah, disable it. Too much clutter. One of the really cool things I know you can do in Voodoo, and I don't remember how, is if somebody's out of range and you can't heal them, when you hover over with the cursor, you can have a little arrow that actually tells you which direction they are, so you can run towards them and heal them. I love that feature. I don't remember where it is. Anyway, I'll figure that out later. So now I think this is actually set up as well as I had it before. Easy to see, easy to track. I'm good with it. Okay, so that's Voodoo. I'm set up. I'm ready to play. That's. I'll probably think of a few more things to tweak, but we got her done. All right, guys. It's a little late. I'm gonna turn off stream. If anyone watched any of that, thank you. And we're gonna have a lot more fun. We're gonna have guests. We're gonna cover all kinds of cool stuff. If you want to talk to me, let me know. We can be on stream. We can talk about something crazy that happened to you last week, or we can debate politics, philosophy, religion, tell stories. I want to have interviews and guests and all kinds of stuff. So I already have a couple people I'm going to be talking to, including Sonsol said he'd talk to me. So we're going to do a little interview with Sonsol. Looking forward to that. He's on Twitch. Sonsol, S-O-N-D, S-O-N-D-S-O-L, I'm pretty sure. So he's a really cool guy. He usually has 10 to 50 viewers on there. Really active